Hey, what's up, guys? So, I've been watching the videos of Lambdog and Digital and talking about the financial meltdown and the leading causes and ideas there. And I think if you took the two and kind of wrapped them up together, and you took the video that Lambdog had posted, or the audio from the video, and you add it to the fact that people are people. As Digital's kind of point is, you go outside and look at the assholes that are your neighbors, or whatever, and look at the purchases and the frivolous nature that men and mankind are you know have a natural tendency to do. I think you kind of get your cause right there. It is true that the government attempted to make housing and the loans that are needed to purchase a house available to anybody. However, they didn't make the education of those people, or the understanding of the responsibility that goes into that, as being paramount to their changes that they did. They just pushed and pushed and pushed until they got to the point where everybody was at the point where you almost had an equality situation. Everybody's equal. Everybody's equal. But the equal was all just a phony prop up, and the risk was all assumed by basically us, the consumers of the country, the people that put into the economy. So if you take human nature, which you can always assume that we're just going to go down the most depraved and selfish paths that we can, at least a good chunk of us, a large enough chunk to hurt the rest of the group, right? That by giving people the opportunity to be selfish and have falsely suppressed interest rates for mortgages, and systems where no questions are asked, basically, and you are allowed to do whatever you want. The blame is certainly on the push. The blame is certainly on the person, right? The person that signs ultimately on that dotted line. If they're not responsible, then okay, fine. But the larger guilt is on the government, because they decided they were going to, touch the butterfly wings of capitalism and try and control via, policy and function the nature of the human being, which is impossible. So because they had a bigger concern about people being in houses, they allowed a situation to happen where people were able to fully realize their depraved and selfish beliefs. And that's really the core of the whole thing. I mean, that's what caused it. And people haven't changed. People haven't gotten smarter. People, Digital points it out. Truck of the year or the truck of the year, right? The truck of the year. The car of the year again is a truck. Yeah, I mean, you will never have a situation where people won't bend over backwards to look better than somebody, even just perceived to look better. Living, hand to mouth, eating and living their daily lives just so they could pay for something that is a visible reference to how important they are, what they have, the goods and things that they own that make them look like something important. The content of the character is lacking, but they feel, because they've got these things, houses and cars and Harleys and all that, that they somehow have kind of worth. And you're not going to change that. We haven't evolved. We're not going to evolve. We're not going to get better. We're, at least not in our lifetimes or our children's lifetimes, or hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years before anything like that will ever change. If we're even here by then. Anyway. Again, the government trying to touch and manipulate and control and use a policy to weed out the responsibility that you have to have if you're going to go into these economic situations. And by trying to modify how capitalism works is the cause of these problems. That's it.